It's Friday, na 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 na. Happy Friday, everybody. It is Fiverr Friday. If you have forgotten, my name is Anthony Pica. This show is all about helping the new and upcoming voiceover artists grow their business and sidestep all of the crazy things that I seem to step on. I want to welcome everybody from Instagram, from YouTube, from Facebook, from Twitter. It's great to have you all here. These Fridays are quickly becoming one of the most popular things on the channel. People seem to really love them, so I'm excited to keep them going. This is episode 3, and what we do on these Fiverr Fridays is that we come together, and any questions that you have, B-Dog at 45, what's up? We got Instagram over here. Lots of people on Instagram today. Good to have you guys. What we do is I take your questions, you post them in the chats, all right? And I go through and I'll just answer any questions regarding Fiverr that you have, whether it's growing your business, whether it's learning how Fiverr works, whether it's wondering if Fiverr is a good place for you to go to try to get some more voiceover work, or whatever questions that you have about Fiverr, this is the place to ask them, and this is when to ask them. So as we're talking and everything, if you've got questions, go ahead and post them. I think that, just so you know real quick, there's like a delay. Instagram, I don't think there really is a delay, but for YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter, as we go through this, there is sometimes like a 20 or 30-second delay when putting up questions, so I'll be sure to try to wait and get those ready to go. I do want to say this has been quite a week for voiceovers on Fiverr, and I think in general. The week directly back from the break and the new year, those first couple of days, the first, second, third, and everything, it's very kind of slow. Everybody's recovering. But I'm not sure about you, but this week, voiceover work has come back with a vengeance. And I've definitely been getting work, not just on Fiverr, but all kinds of other places. So, however, Fiverr has been blowing up for me. Hopefully it is for you. And if it is not, don't be afraid to put that in there. Hey, Anthony, why can't I get work on Fiverr? And this is what I think, But I would say when you ask that question, don't be afraid to put down your thoughts about why you're not getting it or what you think it is. It's important as we go through, our journey on Fiverr or anywhere in voiceover, that you are continually trying to come to your own conclusions about why you think something is not working or why it is working. We can use data to support our conclusions, but the reason why I think it's important for you to do this is because this is how you become the decision maker, the person who can guide your business and not determined upon where you think other people think you should go. Does that make sense? Then I always like to ask, if you're not getting the business that you want, my first question a lot of times will come out and I will be like, why do you think you're not getting business? Because, it's just like that whole test thing, right? When we take a test, or in the past we've taken a test and, we think the answer is A, but we're like, no, it's not A, it's B. And we change it to B, and then it really was A. We just weren't confident enough to follow our gut. Do you know what I'm saying? So part of this is becoming confident enough to follow your gut, and then once you decide, okay, well that could be it, making the decision to move forward to change that and not waiting. You know what I mean? So I find that, and that's the same with Fiverr, your business there, or anywhere else. All right, so we have some questions coming in, so let's go ahead and dive into this. We've got Richie over on Instagram says, I had someone cancel an order and I will be evaluated soon. Looks like it is counting against my completion rate. Yes, so there are a couple different criteria that Fiverr uses to determine whether or not, you can continue to qualify to move up in the rankings, but also where they put you in the standings and how much weight they give your gigs opposed to someone else. A completion rate is one of those things. So when someone cancels an order or you cancel an order, that goes against your completion rate. And I believe that it is, I think it's 92%, but I'm not sure. But basically, Fiverr gives you a little bit of a space to determine whether or not you get a warning or so much, and every particular warning that you get, it decreases your account to the point where you're not going to be able to move forward, or you've got to wait. A lot of what Fiverr does is averaging over 30 days or so, right? So the good thing, Richie, is no matter what's going on, it will eventually go away. It's not there forever. Okay, but say it looks like it's counting against my completion rate. That's what it does. Now, I have to tell you that there are some situations that is not, clearly never, most of them aren't our fault, right? And unfortunately, I've found that in this particular instance, unless it is a, egregious act or something like that, it's Fiverr's pretty unrelenting in this. They won't, take it away or anything, even if it's not, your fault. So I find that what happens to me actually a lot is people order too much. Like they continue to order and they accidentally order 2 or 3, and you can't be like, don't cancel that, right? Because they made a mistake. So you can't, because they ordered the same thing twice by accident. I don't know if that's happened to you, but it's happened to me a couple times. So unfortunately, yes, Richie, that's what happens, and I understand the pain, but it will go away, okay? Because it is a running average. All right, good question. Let's move on to the next one. Let's see. We've got Rich over on YouTube says, "Hi, Anthony. How long does it take to receive the money after you deliver the work on Voice Realm and ACX?" All right, so I will answer this, Rich, even though this is Fiverr Friday. But actually, while we're doing this, I'll just say Fiverr, when you first start off, is 2 weeks. When you become a top-rated seller, it's 1 week. But that is after they accept the work. And, Rich, this goes in the same situation as the Voice Realm. All right, in ACX. So there is always a period that each platform allows the client to wait to accept your work. So on the Voice Realm, I believe it's like 14 days that they allow. I believe it's 14 days. On Fiverr, it's only 3 days. The client only has 3 days to accept or, ask for revision, and then after that, it closes out. But on the Voice Realm, I believe it's 14 days. ACX is not really too much of a limit for them. ACX is like the Wild Wild West. Do you know what I mean? And, because it's because Amazon views ACX and all of us, we're all independent people. So they don't really care whether you work on the platform, off the platform, because you have to go through ACX in order to get work. So to get paid through ACX, there's 2 ways, right? You can be paid directly if it's per finished hour, or you can be paid royalty shares. The royalty shares come through Amazon and ACX, and that is a month behind. So let's say this month you sell 100 books, you're not going to get paid until the end of the next month. Right? So if you're just starting out and you've sold books and you're like, yeah, I sold some books, you're not going to be paid for like 2 months. Okay? So, but, as you go along, once you catch up, they just pay at the end of the month for the previous month. So ACX pays like that. The Voice Realm, they, like I said, if the client does not accept it and they just wait, a lot of them don't, because they just take it and go, because there's not a rating system on our end like Fiverr has, for example. Then what happens is they will let it go for the 14 days, and then it will go into completed, but then it's wait, and Voice Realm then has another, like, I don't know, it's like 7 to 30 days or something. Voice Realm, they have a lot of time to pay you, and sometimes it takes a long time. However, what I found with them is their customer support seems to be pretty good so far that I've noticed. So as soon as I get the work is approved or put through on the Voice Realm, I send them a kindly message saying, "Hey, I saw that it was approved. Would you mind sending it through to my my PayPal account?" And they do. They do that pretty quickly if you remind them. Okay, so that's a little tip on the Voice Realm and ACX. Now remember, ACX, you get paid through PayPal, and you have to do it on your own with the author. okay, or the publishing company, it does not go through ACX if it's per finished hour. Then there's just a little button on there that you push that you've been paid, right? That's how ACX works. That's why I call it like, the Wild West. All right, so hopefully, Rich, that was answered your question on that one. All right, Brad, if someone forgets to pay for commercial rights on your project, how do you go about adding that into the offer? Do you need to create a new offer and cancel? All right, Brad, I'm super happy that you brought this up. So first and foremost, with everybody, with everything that I've been seeing, couple tips here. When someone on Fiverr or anywhere, I believe, but on Fiverr, they message you and they ask you for a quote, always add in commercial rights. Now, you can determine whether to add in broadcast rights or not, but I always add in the amount of money it costs for the words that they've given me, as well as commercial rights. I add it in. I send them a quote immediately for the entire price. I don't send them a quote for less and then ask them if they need that, because it doesn't look right. You can always negotiate down from the highest price, but negotiating up it's a lot harder. So I always send them off the top of the immediately the full amount of price that it should be. Now, if they order it from you, then what you do is I have an actual, the lightning responses. I have a response simply saying, thank you so much for your order. I appreciate it, and I'm looking forward to working with you. I noticed that you bought such and such, and that you also need this. I'll go ahead and send you that now. On your gig, you have a place where it says offer extras in the response category. You can offer an extra on the gig, and it will simply send them the extra. And once they can purchase it, it will just add it to the gig. And you can also offer extra time to that if you need it, like if it's time sync or something. But do not cancel the order. You don't need to. You can just offer it separately. Now, what I have had is I've had people come back who needed it, and we'll just do a whole different order for the rights. They're like, okay, well, we decided to use this. This actually happens a lot to me, where people are like, well, we've gone back. We've decided to use this now. It's gone through what we've decided, and we need to buy the broadcast rights. But the order has already been canceled out. I mean, it's already been done, right? So I will then do another order just for the rights and have them put it through like that. So that's basically, how I do that. But generally speaking, you can do it all through the gig at that time without canceling. Just the key here is to let the clients know, make them feel like you are completely, you're confident about what's going on, and what's going on, so you can just help them through the process, because a lot of them don't know, or a lot of them don't understand all the buttons they got to click and all that stuff, okay? So that's something that you can do. All right, good question. All right, we got something over on, let's see, we got something over on Instagram. We got Jose. What's up, Jose? We said, I read your history this morning. It's fabulous. Thank you, man. I live in Puerto Rico, and I'm very interested on voice booth. The U.S. companies have very expensive shipping. Do you have a recommendation to me? Bad English is okay. So yes, Jose, I work with a lot of people, a lot of voice actors, actually also around the world, where it is a lot more difficult to find things that we have in the U.S., and it's also very, very expensive to ship. So a lot of things that we do is we try to do our very best to make our own. And I think that for you, all right, for right now, I mean, because you're not going to be able to get around shipping costs if you're trying to get things in from outside of the country. But what you can do is you can build your own, and it's actually not very hard at all. I will be doing more. I'm going to be coming out with a lot of different material, a lot of courses in the near future, but one of them I've wanted to do is a whole series on how to build a whole bunch of different booths, because as I've gone through my career, I've had my hobo fort, I've worked in closets, I have a whisper room, I've built different things, and I was a a builder. I did a lot of work where I did a lot of theatrical work, technical work. So I was always building and constructing and making things out of nothing, which I enjoy. So, that's something that I'll be putting out. But I would definitely recommend that you try to make your own space because, you're not going to get around that money situation. So anyways, Jose, I hope that helps. There's a lot of there are some materials online, but the best thing to do is PVC pipe and packing blankets or a closet that has a lot of clothes in it. You're going to build your way up. You're going to build your way up, right? It's not going to be perfect when you start, but anyways, that's my thoughts, man. Hope that helps. BDoggy45, I still don't fully understand when to and when not to include commercial and broadcast rights. So okay, great question. I'm going to tell you this. Always, I don't care what it is, always include commercial rights. Guys and gals, this is where we make our money on Fiverr. And this is where other people who have an issue with Fiverr don't understand how why people want to go on there and offer $5 or $10. The Fiverr set it up right like a marketplace where you tick extras to add on to boost the price. Okay, but here's the thing. The commercial and broadcast rights, that should be your bread and butter for making money, right? Because think of your words almost as your fee to record. And then think of your broadcast rights and your commercial rights as the licensing that you are giving people to use your work. If you are familiar with how, voiceover works off of Fiverr and other platforms and so forth, and licensing your work for 6 months or a year, but some people also, you can want a buyout, right? So imagine that Fiverr, these vocabulary words that Fiverr set up is to make, people who don't understand this industry a lot easier to work with, right? So they've just put these words to mean that it's a full buyout of the licensing of your work, okay? Unless you somehow set a different set of terms with the customer, which you can, but then that does not go through Fiverr. You have to actually, implement that, whatever. You have to implement that yourself, okay? So the commercial rights for Fiverr mean that if anyone is going to use your voiceover to promote, key thing here is to use the word promote, is to promote your business, right? To promote their business through non-paid channels, meaning that they're going to take your voiceover and use it to, do a little mini commercial and post it on Instagram on their site, like on their Instagram page, but they don't pay for an ad. That's commercial rights. But listen, I always include commercial rights. All right, I always include commercial rights because unless it is a very rare situation, like a college student doing a project, okay, or some random thing, everybody is promoting something, right? Whether it's a nonprofit or whatever, always add in commercial rights, no matter what. Okay, broadcast rights are going to be when they take your voiceover and they're actually going to be running it on like a radio. They're going to be buying social media ads. Remember, the commercial and broadcast rights they are licensing. All right, we are licensing our work for them. They are trying to buy it out completely. So when you set that price, just be aware that that's what it means. Okay, if there's any confusion there, does that make sense? All right, so good. That's a great question. All right. We have some more questions coming over Instagram, but we've got lots over on YouTube and Facebook. So let me go and I'll switch back and forth. Let's see. John, I think it's John. Hi, Ant. Thank you so much for the advice. Just starting in VO from South Africa. It's good to have you. Thank you so much for being here. John Clark, what's up? Jeremy, what's up? Colin, can you please run through the stats section? Views, impressions, social clicks, conversions. So Fiverr does give you, one thing I do like about Fiverr is they give you an analytics page, and you also have this on your phone, right, in the app. And basically on the analytics page, it gives you an idea, or actually this is on the gigs. So when you go to Fiverr, there's the gigs, analytics, different things that you pull up. When you pull up your gigs, it will show you how many impressions, how many views, how many clicks, your conversion rate, how many orders you've had. And it's bare minimum information, but it's still good information. So impressions are any time your gig comes up on a page. Okay, now remember, it doesn't mean that they have actively seen it. It just means that it has come up in a search somewhere. All right, and so that is an impression. It has come up, right? All right, so then you go into views, right? And views are when someone actively views your gig. And a click is going to be, that's why when you look at it, it says views to clicks, right? You're always going to have, usually, and I think it's, so think about the views are when someone views it, and a click is when someone actually clicks on your gig. All right, so view is a specific view where it comes across, they look at it, and that they can measure this by how, where you are in screen in correlation to what they're looking at, and also the click-through rate, right? So when they click through, then they've clicked on your ad, or your gig. All right, so those are that's how those are set up. And here's the thing, it is a great measurement of how well you are getting people to view your gig, like how well your picture is doing, your headshot. Are you enticing people enough to stop and look at your gig? Are you enticing them enough to click on your demo? Right? And if they're listening to your demo, then what is the conversion rate from your demo to them actually purchasing from you? And if you take these numbers and start to read behind them, it gives you a story of, are you actually targeting? And I'm going to be talking about this tomorrow in the Fiverr Elite group, and we're going to be diving into how to maximize this, what I'm talking about, and that is understanding that number tells you, is your demo actually working, right? Is your samples that you've put up working? Is your picture actually working? And then how do we judge, or how do we figure out if they are working, right? We're going to be going over that in the Fiverr Elite group tomorrow. That is a group we meet every weekend and grow. It's a private group that you can join. I'll have the link below in different places, or you can go to the website. And absolutely love, a group is growing at a great rate. And anyways, but the point is that that's what those numbers do. They tell you what the health, it's like a health, like a health monitor of your business is, okay? All right. Conversions, of course, then are going to, you have some social clicks and conversions. Social clicks are anytime someone clicks on a link through off of Fiverr to you, okay? Conversions are going to be, what is your percentage, all right, of people who are viewing your work and then actually purchasing from you, okay? That's what the conversion rate is. A good, healthy conversion rate for me is between 1% to 3%. Some people have a very high conversion rate, but they don't have a lot of business. But, the thing is that no matter what anybody tells you in Fiverr or anywhere, everybody, the key to success today online, when we're talking about logistically, is getting in front of people. The number of impressions, your reach. You have to get in front of people in order for people to even have a chance to see you. And with all the noise out there, that's the challenge. And then, of course, the question becomes, well, how do I get in front of people? And that is what all of this is about, and Fiverr, the Fiverr Elite, et cetera, et cetera. All right, so that's good, Colin. Let's see. I am a VO guy. How long would it take for a non-tech newbie to get set up and running on Fiverr, please? Well, it depends. I actually have a course that streamlines it all and shows you step by step. It's like 10 videos that I made for this very thing, and you can find that on my site. And that's honestly, that's the best thing to do. It runs through every piece, step-by-step videos that you see, and you can just follow along and do them yourself. So that's on the site. I recommend that, but you can do it yourself, of course, and it takes time. The challenge is that looking at other people's gigs, you just see the front. You don't see how to set it up on the backside, and that's what I did. Tech-wise, it shouldn't take you too long. All right, like if you don't know computers and stuff like that, you need to learn immediately. But that course I made really, really helps. and it was made for people just beginning on Fiverr or trying to grow their business and not sure where it is. That's a great course to check out. Let's see. E pluribus bigly. Do you charge the same prices away from Fiverr as you do on Fiverr? If you charge more on your website, how do you keep the business separate? Thanks. I charge the same. I charge the same everywhere, and the reason why is because, like I said, I've been burned both ways. People have found me on Fiverr. People found me off of Fiverr, but then they find me on Fiverr, and why don't you charge the same? I charge the same. But what I do is I make sure, right? I make sure that I am charging what I feel comfortable charging. Usually if you're charging more off your site, you're either thinking I'm charging too less on Fiverr, or you're trying to take advantage of people off of Fiverr, people who you think you could charge more to. Usually it's not the second one. We're not those type of people, right? We're just think that that's not the normal rate that we charge on Fiverr. But I feel like I charge on Fiverr what I'm going to charge everywhere else. So depending whether somebody contacts me on Voice123, whether they contact me through wherever, that is up to me. Here's the difference. If it's up to me, I charge the same everywhere. It makes sense, right? It's good business. You're not being shady. Okay. But if it's on a site, like for example, the Voice Realm, I do not control what their rate card, right? So I have to go by their rate card, and their rate card is quite a bit more expensive. Or the Voice Jungle, they have their own rate card, and I go by their rate card, and I'm okay with that. Okay, because their prices are decent too. So, but if it's up to me and it's in my control, I charge the same across the board. Two things. One, it's responsible business. Two, it's a lot easier. You don't have to think about, like you said, separate. You don't have to keep them separate. You don't have to worry about how much does it cost here, how much does it cost over there. Where did you find me? I got to check my book of rates. Just charge the same. But then it brings up the question, are you happy with what you're charging? Okay, and then if you're not, then you need to really take a step back and get comfortable or make some decisions, okay? But that's how I do it. I just charge the same. All right, let's see. Brad says, thanks. I make it a requirement to check off commercial broadcast rights. I absolutely do that as well. And Brad's talking about on the requirements page. All right, let's go over to Instagram right now. We've got Walter has been waiting for a while. When you audition for a book on ACX, so maybe we need to do like ACX Thursdays or something, because I'm getting a lot of ACX questions. So maybe we'll do ACX Thursdays. Let me know if you like that idea. We'll do ACX Thursdays. But I'll answer this on ACX. You said, when you audition for a book on ACX, that is $100 to $200 per finished hour. Do you tell them what you will charge when submitting the audition, or wait to see if you are chosen before starting that conversation? Okay, Walter. So usually before you even start the audition, they have already told you what they are going to be willing to pay, right? Because each audition they are forced to put, whether it's $0 to $50 per finished hour, $400 to $1,000 per finished hour, royalty share plus. I'm going to be assuming that you're talking about maybe royalty share plus or something where it's unspecified. There is a section where it's unspecified rate. Walter, what you want to do is you want to first know exactly what you're auditioning for in that price. If it's not in that price range, then they clearly don't want to pay it. If it is within that price range, then you're totally good to go. But every single audition, there is a price range on there, and that will tell you exactly what you need to do. If it's unspecified, I would absolutely make sure you say, hey, just so you know, my PFH is $100 to $200. Absolutely, let them know. But remember, kind words. Use kind words. We want to make people feel like they want to work with us, right? Okay. So good. Thank you very much, sir, for that. All right, let's see. They didn't check it off. Oh, Brad. Okay. If they didn't check it off, Brad, and we were talking about the commercial broadcast rights, and you feel like it is, then you have to make a decision. The decision is this. Do you want to go after this whole thing and go down the rabbit hole and argue with the customer, or do you want to just do the job and move on? It's up to you. This is actually what I do in these cases because it happens to me occasionally. I will do the job, and then I will make sure that I send them, this is what I do. I send them the extra through the job. I put in there saying, hey, thank you. I'm going ahead and finishing this out for you. I'll give them the extra first, though, before I submit it. Then I will submit the job and let them know in the submission, thank you so much. Just remember to pay for the commercial rights if you want to license my voice to promote your business, brand, or product. And then I submit it, and it's up to them. Right? Because for all, I mean, we can't be 100% sure unless we, troll them that they're actually going to use our stuff. But that's what I do. And honestly, that's the only thing you can do unless you cancel it out. So I do make sure, again, that I leave it on the back end, though. I don't leave it without giving them the opportunity to purchase it again. Right? So that's what I do, Brad. I hope that helps. Let's see. Angela, we said, yesterday you suggested giving people 3 readings. This morning I got a new gig because they liked the third one I gave them, which was my least favorite. Thanks for the great advice. Yeah, you never know what people are going to like, and that's why the 3 options are really helpful, especially when you're auditioning. Now, I know we don't audition on Fiverr very much. We can, but it works fantastic when you're auditioning on Voice123, The Voice Realm, Voices.com. Do 3 different takes. Okay, if you're doing an audiobook audition, that's a little different because I feel like, I don't do more than 2 minutes. Some people do. Like if someone submits 5 or 10 pages, they do everything. I just do about 2 minutes. That's all I do, 2 minutes or less. I figure after the 2 minutes, if they don't know whether they want to work with me or not, they have, I don't want to work with them. That's kind of harsh, but that's the way I roll because of the volume and stuff of work I'm doing. So anyways, let's see. Booth Construction 101 with Anthony Pica. I like that. This is from John, does anyone use teleprompter style software that automatically scrolls text up while you read it? I do not. I have definitely looked into some dubbing software so that it allows you to, there's some different dubbing software that was created in France and some different places that actually has the words coming across the screen. And when it hits a mark, it tells you, it links it up automatically with the people dubbing. But I can't afford it and I can't find it. I saw it at one point, but then I can't find it anymore. But anyways, that was really exciting to me, right? Because I hate dubbing. But anyways, I do not use it, although I do know people who it is available in places you can get them. I know that. I don't know any of the names off the top of my head, but I have heard of some people using it. I do not, though. Okay. What I do is I just have a big screen in my booth that's connected to my Mac outside my booth, so it's a split screen, like I share the screen, and I have a wireless keyboard and mouse, so that I can control my entire system in my booth, but with none of the noise, because I make sure it's a computer screen. It's a very wide, big computer screen, so I can make my type very bigger and control my DAW inside my booth, but not have any running noise of all the equipment I have on my editing station. Okay. Let's see. Thanks for the info, Anthony, out of the Fiverr course. You bet, man. John, I'm very interested in ACX Thursday. Awesome. ACX Thursday. Okay. Let's see. Yes, I would love the ACX Thursdays. I waved and made them aware. Awesome. That's great. Oh, good. Okay. How can someone charge market rates when starting out on Fiverr? Okay. So, well, the first simple answer is you determine what you charge. But I would say too, and this is what I'm getting at by the extras. Understand that the extras act differently than an overall price structure, right? Meaning that the way Fiverr set it up to try to target people who are not going to be using our work to, get to a region or national or international, right? They're targeting Joe Schmo. They're targeting the guy who wants you to do a voiceover for his daughter's 5-year birthday party, or the guys down the street who run a Dungeons and Dragons game every Saturday night. And they want to do something they want to do like a cool evil character voice for their Dungeons and Dragons, which, by the way, I didn't make that up. I've done that before for people. That's fun. I love doing fun stuff like that. But anyways, the point is that since Fiverr is targeting everybody, not just businesses, right? Individual people, all right? They have set up their structure so that you can choose to like you have the words that you charge per word, but then you also have the ability to work with businesses to license it for them. And also Fiverr has gone a step further and allowing you to add your own extras. There are some people who work on Fiverr and add extras into it, like regional licensing for 6 months or a year, that you can set it up. Just be aware. Just be aware of this point, and this is where it gets challenging when you're trying to put out these huge numbers to start on Fiverr, is that Fiverr, just like Amazon, okay, is really driven by reviews. And those reviews are what gives people peace of mind. Just like you and I, we don't go online and buy anything without reading a review. I don't even buy stuff in a store, like big items in a store. Did you know that? You know this, right? When you go into a store to buy a big item, they even have the little reviews. They say, this is like a 4.5 out of 5-star reviews across, right? They even put that on the tags. You know what I'm talking about, right? Like refrigerators and stuff like that. Because people want to see that social proof. They want to see proof that it's good and before they purchase it. That's just the way our society works now. So in this particular instance, right, when we are not, right, because think about it, agents in the past, they gave us that proof, right? If you're with an agent and you're with a specific agency and that name, there's got to be something that gives people proof of you. Either it's your brand yourself, it's the breadth of your work, it is, your relationship, or in this case, it is online reviews. So if you are just starting off and you have no reviews on Fiverr, okay, that doesn't mean that you can't do the work, but it could mean one or two things. One, it could mean that you need to start off maybe trying to build up by charging a little less. Okay, you don't have to. This is your business. You do what you want. But the second thing is, it may be that you want to go down the pro route and try to get into Fiverr's pro services. And the people who are in the Fiverr's pro services, those are people who are charging a lot more. But that doesn't mean, because I know a lot of pro sellers who make good money, but I make more than them. Okay, so it doesn't mean that you're going to make the same amount of money you make as being a regular seller, all right? But to be a pro seller, you have to go through a series of things, and Fiverr's really interested in getting super unique or high value people, I think as they call it, meaning like you have a lot of followers or something, or your name, like Bill DeWeese is a pro seller. People who offer services that are not very that aren't in abundance on Fiverr. So, but that's another route that you can go as well. But hopefully that whole thing helps you determine what you want to do. But in the end, I always think of when in Rome. When in Rome. That's why the extras are so important. I make the bulk of my money on the back end. Okay. All right. Let's see. Wayne says, "Hey, Anthony, great points about continuity with Fiverr and non-Fiverr pricing. One thing to remember is that Fiverr buyers who go off-platform end up saving on the platform surcharges." Right. So, every platform, and I know this too because I've had the fortunate through all this stuff that I do online and stuff, I get contacted by businesses and stuff. And, one of the biggest problems that they tell me they have is keeping work on their platform, right? Because for example, Fiverr doesn't just charge us, they charge the people themselves to purchase. Okay, so if you've ever purchased something on Fiverr, you're charged something as well. You're charged a percentage on top of what you're paying for that, and they charge us, right? I'm okay with it, though, because they bring me loads of business, and I don't have to do anything. I wake up, business is in my account, bam, they pay me, I'm good, I'm happy, right? So I'm willing to pay them their fee. But if someone finds you, I have people find me off of Fiverr. They said, "Hey, I found you on Fiverr, but then I did a search for you on Google and I found you and I got to your website," and they send me a message and we work off of Fiverr. That is what it is. You are not in trouble for that. You cannot get in trouble for that. What you can get in trouble for is when you are trying to actively remove people from Fiverr, okay? And especially before they purchase. Fiverr understands that when someone purchases something from you, sometimes there has to be, there has to be like what am I trying to say? You have to give some personal information sometimes, all right, after a purchase in order to do what the work is stated. So they're okay with that because they've already been paid. But if you do it before, Fiverr's gonna hunt you down. You might get away with it one or two times, but I know story after story of people who've gotten kicked off of Fiverr and gotten banned and warnings and all kinds of stuff. So, but Wayne, I totally agree. It's actually probably more profitable for all of us to do work off of Fiverr. But again, why Fiverr is so successful is because they spend millions and hundreds of millions on marketing. They are a marketing machine. No one will deny, I don't care who it is and anyone what they say about Fiverr. Fiverr is a marketing machine. They are a beast and no one can deny it. So it is what it is. It's either you roll with it or you don't. Let's see. We've got BDoggy45. If you click your middle mouse button, you can auto scroll. I've done that before. Okay. I'm not sure. I might have just forgotten what we were talking about. All right. So let's go into this. Zach says, I definitely recommend Anthony's Fiverr course too. Well, thanks, Zach. Especially if you're just wanting to get started there. It's the best way to go. Thanks, man. Wayne, you end up saving 20% commission and the client, right? Yep. Angela, hi, Anthony. Zach, I also love the idea of ACX Thursday, especially since I just purchased that course too. Good. Yeah, I think we'll do that. ACX Thursday. All right, cool. Let's see. Wayne says, for scripts, if you convert your scripts to PDF, Adobe Reader has an auto scroll function that acts like a teleprompter. Hope that helps. Oh, cool. That's neat. I've not used that before, but that sounds pretty cool. I like that. Thank you very much, Wayne. All right, you guys. Well, I guess we have been on here for a bit. If anyone has any more questions or comments, go ahead and post them there. Just as a quick reminder, if you get an opportunity, make sure you like this video, like this on Twitter and on Facebook and YouTube. By the way, we hit 700 subs on YouTube, so I'm super excited about that. Yay! I'm trying to get to 1,000. That's my goal. We're getting close there. Getting from 500 to 700 has taken a lot less time than it was just to get to, from 400 to 500, or from 500 to 600. It seemed like it took forever, but to get from 600 to 700 has gone a lot faster. So I'm super excited about that. So if you haven't had a chance yet, go over to YouTube, hit the sub button as well as the tick the notifications button. But I go live Monday through Friday from at 1 p.m. And now we have ACX Thursdays and Fiverr Fridays. I like this. I like this a lot. And also, if you haven't had a chance to look at the Fiverr Elite group yet, go ahead and check that out. I think you really would enjoy it. We're gonna, we meet every Saturday. And it's 10 a.m. Eastern, but there are free replays all the time. You get access to it if you can't make it or whatever. All right, so I got a couple other questions coming in real quick. Let's see. Walter says, at tax time, does Fiverr supply you with what you made as well as the amount that they kept as you write it off? Fiverr is not going to give you the amount like that. You have to make sure that you understand the total amount that you made, right? And then you have to take the 20% off. Okay, so that's important. Good question, Walter. Yeah. Let's see. John, thanks. Another brilliant session. I have a problem solved and a new idea. Awesome, man. Drandy says, thanks for the info. Absolutely. Switch says, I've heard you talk about buyer requests, but I feel like every time I look at them, it's foreign languages or a million words for $5. All right, absolutely. So, two things about buyer requests. If you are just starting out, buyer requests remain the best way to get work. Okay, but here's the rub. Two things. One, it is an ongoing thing, meaning that people can go on to buyer requests and post a job anytime during the day. So if you go to buyer requests, let's say, you get home from work, you have dinner with the kids, you get on around 9 or 10 on your computer and you pull up the buyer requests and it's this guy who's posted 10 looking for, French and Indian and Italian and all these different languages that you don't speak. And you're like, buyer request sucks. You have to understand that throughout the day, people have posted stuff on there and they've either taken it down, they've gotten work they wanted or whatever. You have to, I know it's a challenge because we're all, we're working jobs and it's tough to get there. But the first thing is note that it's constantly changing. There are jobs going up and being taken down. So the more you can go and check throughout the day, the better. Okay. By the way, this stuff isn't easy. It is not easy to do this. You got to bust your chops. The second thing is, and this is probably maybe a little more controversial, but the way I view the buyer requests is that most of the people on there, customers on there, right, they are actively looking for voice actors. At the moment, they might not be actively looking for you, but maybe next week they need someone like you. So I don't have any problem. All right. If I'm in the market to getting business because my business is slowing down, to going on there and and putting out my 10, whether they are looking for me or not. I kindly let them know that I understand they're not looking for me, but if they need a male voiceover in the future, I would love to help them. And I put a link to my Fiverr gig in the description of the offer. All right. And I send it to them. Okay. And, I've gotten business that way. Many people have gotten business that way, especially when, men have done it. If they're looking for females, or women have done it. They're looking for males and they like the voice. Says, hey, I never thought about that. This actually works. I'd like to work with you. All right. These people are actively looking for voice actors. It's not a bad idea if you cannot find work that relates to you. You want to first go after the work that relates to you and to try to get there and whenever you can. Now, cool thing when they come up with it is Voquin is going to be adding a posting board as well. And I think that will revolutionize Voquin too. I'm not sure when they're coming out with it, but I know they will be. And that will be, people will be able to post jobs on Voquin just like kind of Fiverr, and you'll be able to go on there and bid for jobs and stuff like that. And that'll be a big thing for a lot of people on Voquin who are not getting work on that platform. So I'm excited about that as well. All right. So good questions. Anything else? Let's see. Someone said, Wolf Creek says, largest job I ever had was on buyer's requests. Nice. Yeah, I've had some big jobs there. I've heard you talk about buyer requests, but I feel like sorry. We already talked about that. Oh, by the way, you said words for $5. Real quick. Just because they're asking for $5 doesn't mean you have to bid on it for $5. I found that if someone falls in love with your voice, all right, and they really want it, they'll find a way to pay you. Okay, but if they care more about the price than they do about the quality, then, it's probably not worth it. No, it's easy to say when you don't need the money, but these are all choices that you have to make in your business, right? Like when I first started, I did everything I could. I didn't care about the price. I didn't care about all that stuff. It's quite different now in my business. I do care about the price because my time is a lot more. It was valuable back then. It was very valuable back then, just like it is now. But I'm saying now, my time, I can make more money doing certain things now than back when I first started. I wasn't making anything. So, I did what I could do to get work, even if it paid pittance, right? I did it. And I can say confidently and truthfully to you, doing that built this that I have now. Okay, to where now I can look at customers like that and say, no, sorry, have a great day. I don't want to do that. But then I was like, yes, I'll do it. It is what it is, right? We build our business from the bottom up. But now some things are too much. Like you said, 1 million words for $5. I know what you mean, because there's some people offer like 2,000 words for $5. No, I wouldn't do that. At the same time, are you doing nothing? This is the question I always ask myself, and I do this sometimes too. I'm just blabbering on right now. I'll finish up here. But the other day, right? Business wasn't coming in. I was only getting a few orders a day, as opposed to the 8 or 9 or 10 orders I get a day usually, and sometimes more. But I was like, well, business isn't coming in as much. People message me and they're like, hey, are you willing to do this? And I'm like, well, I'm not. I don't usually charge that, but I don't have a lot of business right now. Sure, because why not? Why would I turn down money coming in because of my pride? Okay, that's just my personal opinion, and that's just me. But I've never been that way, so that was crazy, right? That was like a drop something, I don't know. All right. Thank you guys so much. Well, hey, thank you guys, everybody, for Fiverr Friday. That's wonderful. I really appreciate it. I have become to really, really like Fiverr Friday. Please, again, like this video everywhere. Share it, tweet it, retweet it, do your thing. Hopefully someone will see this and know how awesome Fiverr is. Thank you guys so much. You have a wonderful weekend, and everybody that's in the Fiverr Elite group, I will see you tomorrow morning. All right. Bye, everybody. Goodbye. Goodbye.